Objective 6.1 define the business market and explain how business markets differ from consumer markets. Business buyer behavior is the behavior that buy goods and services for use in the production of other product and service that are sold, rented, or supplied to other. Business buying process is determined with products and services their organization need to purchase, identify, evaluate, and choose among alternative suppliers and brand. Business to business marketers must understand this behavior, engage business customers, and build profitable, value-driven relationships. Business market is much larger than the consumer market in terms of dollars and items. Business and consumer markets are similar in that both involve people making purchase decisions, and the key difference between them is market structure and demand, the nature of buying unit, and the types of decisions. Business marketers deal with fewer but much larger buyers, while a small number of customers account for more purchase. Demand in business markets often inelastic and more fluctuating. Market structure and demand. B2B marketers sometimes promote directly to consumers to boost the drive demand. Business purchases usually involve more decision participation and a more professional purchasing effort than consumer purchase, often handled by trained purchasing agents with expertise in effective buying. Complex purchase typically require multiple people that can include technical experts or top managers. Buying purchases are more complex than consumer purchase. That means that it involves more things and the process is usually longer and formalized. Type buyer-seller interdependence. Buyer and seller often highly depend on each other. B2B marketers frequently work closely with customers. In short run, sales go to supply to meet immediate needs, but in long run, success comes from partnership. Shift towards supplier partnership relationships are shifting from adversarial to cooperative. Many companies now practice supplier development, and supplier development is a systematic development of networks of supply partners to ensure an appropriate and dependable supply of products and materials for use in making products and reselling them to others.
Next, we will move on to objective 6.2. Identify the major factors that influence business buyer behavior. First is buyer-seller interdependence. Buyers and sellers are often highly dependent on each other. B2B or business-to-business marketers frequently work closely with customers from problem identification to after-sales support. In the short run, sales go to suppliers who meet immediate needs, but in the long run, success comes from partnerships that help customers solve problems and grow. Next is the shift towards supplier partnerships. Relationships are shifting from adversarial to cooperative. Many companies now practice supplier development, creating reliable long-term supplier networks. Supplier development is systematic development of networks of suppliers, partners, to ensure an appropriate and dependable supply of products and materials for use in making products or selling them to others. There are some key questions from figure 6.1, a model of business buyer behavior. Like, what buying decisions do business buyers make? Who participates in the buying process? What major influence affect buyers? And how do buyers make their decisions? There are three major types of buying situation. First is straight rebuy. A business buying situation in which the buyer routinely reorders something without modifications. Next is modified rebuy, a business buying situation in which the buyer wants to modify products, specifications, price, terms, or suppliers. The last thing is new task, a business buying situation in which the buyer purchases a product or service for the first time. Many business buyers prefer to buy a complete solution to a problem from a single seller than buying separate products and services from several suppliers and putting them together. This, this is called system selling or solution selling, buying a packaged solution to a problem from a single seller, thus avoiding all the separate decisions involved in a complex buying situation. Next, I will talk about the participants in the business buying process. First is the buying center. First, we talk about the buying center, which is all the individuals and units that play a role in the purchase decision-making process. The buying center includes all members of the organization who play any of the five roles in the purchase decision process. Users are members of organizations who will use the product or service. In many cases, users initiate the buying proposal and help define product specifications. Influencers often help define specifications and also provide information for evaluating alternatives. Technical personnel are particularly important influencers. Buyers have a formal authority to select the supplier and arrange the terms of purchase. Buyers may help share product specifications, but major role is in selecting vendors and negotiating. In more complex purchases, buyers might include high-level officials participating in negotiations. Deciders have formal and informal power to select or approve the final suppliers. In routine buying, the buyer are often the deciders, or at least the approvers. Next is the gatekeepers. They control the flow of information to orders. For example, purchasing agents often have authority to prevent salespersons from seeing users or deciders. Other gatekeepers include technical personnel or even personal secretaries. Next is the figure 6.2, a model of business buyer behavior. Business buyer decisions are influenced by four main groups of factors: environmental factors, organization factors, interpersonal factors, and individual factors. First is the environmental factors. Economy demand, supply of materials, technology, politics, competition, and cultural customs, especially important in international markets. Next is organizational factors, which is the company's goals, strategies, structural rules, and buying procedures. Example is how many people decide who they are, what limit they follow. Thing is interpersonal factors. People in buying team influence each other. Influence doesn't always come from rank, but can come from expertise, likability, control rewards, or personal connections. The last thing is individual factors. Each buyer has personal motives and size. Factors include age, income, education, personality, risk attitude. Some are detailed technical buyers, but others are fast negotiators. Next is objective 6.3. List and define the steps in the business buying decision process. Let's look at figure 6.3. It lists the 8 stages of the business buyer decision process. First is problem recognition, the first stage of the business buying process, in which someone in the company recognizes a problem or need that can be met by acquiring a good or service. Next is general need description, the stage in the business buying process in which a buyer describes the general characteristics and quantity of a needed item. Next is product specification, the stage of the business buying process in which the buying organization designs on and specifies the best technical product characteristics for a needed item. The fourth stage is the stage of the business buying process in which the buyer tries to find the best vendors. Proposal solicitation, the stage of the business buying process in which the buyer invites qualified suppliers to submit proposals. The sixth stage is supply selection, the stage of the business buying process in which the buyer reviews proposals and selects the supplier or suppliers. Order routine specification, the stage of the business buying process in which the buyer writes the final order with the chosen suppliers, listing the technical specifications, quantity needed, expected time of delivery, return policies, and warranties. Performance review, the stage of the business buying process in which the buyer assesses the performance of the supplier and decides to continue, modify, or drop the arrangement.
Now let's move on to section 6.4, which begins with the role of digital tools in engaging business buyers. In recent years, many companies have shifted towards e-procurement, that's it, purchasing through electronic connections between buyers and sellers. This can be done in several ways, such as reverse auction, trading exchanges, company buying sites, or extranet links. The benefits of e-procurement are very clear. It reduces transaction costs and speeds up the ordering and delivery process. It eliminates paperwork and makes purchase tracking more transparent. Most importantly, it allows purchasing staff to focus less on routine administrative tasks and more on strategic activities, such as finding better supply sources and collaborating with suppliers to reduce costs or develop new products. Beyond e-procurement, another major development is the use of digital and social media in B2B marketing. Unlike traditional methods, digital platforms create stronger engagement and interaction with business customers. Marketers are able to target not just the entire organizations, but key decision makers within them. Real-time connectivity also allows continuous communication between sellers and buyers, giving both sides greater access and control over vital business information. In fact, B2B has always been around networking, but today's digital tools enhance this process, making it more effective across almost every industry. Now let's continue with section 6.5, which is another important type of business buyers, which is institutional and government markets. Institutions such as schools, hospitals, nursing homes, and prisons buy products and services to serve the people in their care. These organizations often have very limited budgets and serve patrons who have little or no choice in their providers. Because of these unique characteristics, many companies set up specialized divisions to better serve the institutional buyers. The government markets are another key area. These include federal, state, and local government units that purchase goods and services to fulfill their function. Government contracts are often awarded for the lowest bidder, but in reality, factors such as quality, reliability, and the ability to handle complex projects are equally important. Government also tend to favor domestic suppliers, though recent reforms aim to reduce such bias. At the same time, government buying is subject to high public oversight, requiring extensive documentation and often facing bureaucratic delays. In addition, government increasingly emphasizes non-economic factors such as supporting small business, minority-owned business, and non-discriminatory practice. Because of these challenges, traditional marketing approach are limited. However, many companies develop specialized departments and tailor programs to effectively target government buyers.
There are 4 steps in marketing strategy: segmentation, targeting, differentiation, and positioning. Step segmentation is divide market into distinct buyers groups. Targeting is choose segment to serve. Differentiation is offer unique customer value from other competitors. And last one, positioning is create a clear, desirable brand image. First, we need to choose customers through segmentation and targeting, then create value through differentiation and positioning. Market segmentation may vary in effectiveness. There isn't any all-encompassing formula for success. Marketers must try different variables to find the most suitable combination. We will come to segmenting consumer market. First is geographic segmentation. It's divine the market based on geographic positioning. Second one is demographic segmentation. It's dividing the market into segments based on age, gender, family size, family life cycle, income, occupation, education, religion, generation, and nationality. Psychographic segmentation is dividing a market into segments based on social class, lifestyle, or personality characteristic. The last one is behavioral segmentation. It's dividing a market into segments based on consumer knowledge, attitudes, uses, or responses to a product. Can be refined further through occasions is grouping buyers on the occasion when they get the idea to buy or make the purchase. Benefit sought is grouping buyers by the different benefit they seek from a product. User status is segmented into non-users, ex-users, potential users, first-timers, and regulars. Last one is usage rate and loyalty status are self-explanatory. The utilization of the PRISM system is merging data and categorizing the market, makes combining market segmentation easier for marketers. Some marketers believe buying behavior and benefits are the best basis for segmentation. The second one is segmenting business market. Marketers use the same variables while also including a few new additions. They are operating characteristics, purchasing approaches, situational factors, and personal characteristics. Most companies serve more than one business market. Also, companies can be segmented by their purchase approach and criteria. One is segmenting international markets, including geographic location, economic factors, legal and political factors, and cultural factors. Thanks to technology, a method called cross-market segmentation was created and used to form segments of like-minded consumers, helping marketers reach consumers more effectively. The types of segmentation are measurable is the size, purchasing power, and profiles of the segments can be measured. Accessible is the market segments can be effectively reached and served. Substantial is the market segments are large or profitable enough to serve. Differentiable, the segments are conceptually distinguishable and respond differently to different marketing mix, elements, and programs. Last one is actionable. As effective programs can be designed for attracting and serving these segments.
So following market segmentation, we will then consider the target market based on it. So while evaluating market segments, the firm will usually look into 3 factors: the segment size and growth, segment's structural attractiveness, and the company objectives and resources. And combining all of that, the company will then decide which and how many segment will target, which is called its target market. After which, the company decides which and how many segments will target its target market, which as displayed here, there are 4 of them, which vary in, as we can see here, based on if the market is undifferentiated or differentiated, concentrated, or is basically micro marketing. There are 5 main features to look at, which is market scope, product offering, marketing message, cost, and risk, which we can see here are vastly different, and so they must take that into account. Then they should consider several key factors, such as, for example, competitor strategies, company resources, product life cycle, product and market variability, while being socially responsible and avoid targeting vulnerable segments of the market. Intentional, not. After that, they will try to differentiate and position their products for in order to maximize their competitive advantage. So to distinguish the two, differentiation is creating superior customer value relative to their competitors, and positioning is shaping the offering's perceived value and trying to appear more favorable. And as you can see in the illustration below, marketers often prepare perceptual positioning maps here to plan their differentiation and positioning strategies accordingly. And to do that, they usually follow the 3 steps. First of which is determine what aspects of your product or service will be different and valuable to customers, and then select the advantageous differentiations that will form the basis of your positioning. Next, they will choose a value proposition strategy that best reflects their differentiation relative to the competition. So, in summary, differentiation is what you do to your product service, while positioning is convincing the customer that how you are different and how you might be better, and to shape their perception of you. Yeah, I suppose that's it. Thanks for listening.